Voxday, voxday.blogspot.com, and Mindset is Life. Speaking of Mindset is Life, Crypto Fashion is here, and this is one of his shirts. So thanks for sending it over. Hey guys, today has been, I have to say, vastly amusing and very satisfying indeed, because I was expecting SJWs to get very, very triggered by Alt Hero. You know, it's not the primary goal of Alt Hero, you know, contra what some of the folks on Twitter are saying. To say rustled some jimmies is a bit of an understatement. There are literally hundreds, almost certainly well over 1,000 tweets from SJWs reacting in some way, very negatively, to nothing more than 2 images from Alt Hero. 2. You know, one of them is of the character named Rebel, and her outfit involves a Confederate flag. The other one is a part of a frame that shows 2 Antifa characters getting into street combat with 2 French members of Generation Identitaire. No, Andrew Anglin will not be a villain of any kind or a supervillain. So anyhow, hey, if you guys want, if Cernovich Media is here, hey guys, absolutely, you know, I think you should use it. It's a great design. So, but what was fascinating to me is you have to understand, I expected SJWs to get triggered. No, I have no interest whatsoever in Andrew Anglin. He's not going to appear in any way, shape, or form. He's not important. Anyhow, the thing that is so fascinating about it is that I was expecting this negative reaction. I was expecting them to do this. Okay, we're going to get rid of the Andrew Anglin, folks. We're not talking about, oops, wrong one. I'll unblock that one later. Anyhow, the interesting thing about it is I was expecting this kind of, sorry, Andrew, I'll undo it. I know I did, but I'm not gonna, I can't undo it now, I don't think. I can do it afterwards. So my apologies. That was pretty funny. Anyhow, so what we're talking about is the video for Alt Hero and the launch video, and it's awesome. It's really good. But that was what I expected to generate the negative attention. That was what I expected to trigger the SJWs. And so, you know, the idea that they would get completely over the top, out of control, you know, we're laughing so hard, we're laughing our asses off, ha 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 ha, ha. We're laughing. I mean, it is unhinged, you know. And what you have to understand is that this is one of the 3 stages of re. This is one of the 3 stages of SJW triggering. It's a little different than the Gandhi, you know, first they laugh at you, then they, you know, blah, 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 that sort of thing. What they do is, first they laugh. They say they're laughing. They claim they're laughing. Then the second thing they do is they try to claim that they don't care and they're ignoring you. What's funny is that they will transition from the one to the next. So first, oh, ha, 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 you're so funny. And then the next thing that they do is they start claiming that they have 0 fucks given. no fucks to give. They don't care. You don't matter anyhow. They're too busy. But they never stop to think that this does not, this is not coherent. You don't go from laughing at someone to suddenly claiming that it doesn't matter, etc., right? On top of that, you can't maintain either pretense when you are as sensitive to everything as SJWs are. If you're just amused, if you don't care, then why are you upset? Why are you offended? Why are you indicating that it's bad? And so the third stage, of course, is when they finally crack and they finally drop the mask. They finally stop posturing and posing. And then they start to get very angry. So for example, earlier today, most of the tweets were all, I'm laughing my ass off. I'm laughing. Ha ha ha. So funny. Blah, 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 etc. Fine. Now, already, not even 18 hours later, some of them are starting to crack, and you're starting to see, how dare you have a racist Confederate superhero? Kill yourself already. They went right from that. But you don't know what, because you have never actually watched the whole process take place. If you're sufficiently analytical and sufficiently observant, you will see it take place. Now, sometimes, yes, they go directly to outrage, but not very often, and very seldom in front of other people. You see, they always have to try to maintain a superior pose. They always have to try to maintain this posture of superiority. And so, and it's very important to them. But the thing is, what you need to realize is that SJWs always project. That's the third law of social justice. And so you can always tell what they're thinking, what they're trying to do when you are, or by what they say to you, by their accusations, especially when they're nonsensical. If somebody comes at me and says, Vox, I think you're too arrogant. Okay, that is probably a observation, right? But when someone comes at me and says, Vox, you're a total failure, and everything that you, and you're a virgin who's never touched a woman. Well, clearly, you're not talking about me. You are talking about you. You are talking about the feelings that make you feel bad. And you are projecting the way that you feel bad when you hear those things onto me, even though it's not at all relevant. It's weirdly bizarre to throw accusations. For example, the read a book is another good one. You're going to tell me to read a book? I've published over 100 books. I've written and published something like 15 or 16. I don't even keep track. The books I read, only the books I read in their entirety, are listed on the side of my blog dating back to like 2010. You can see exactly what books I've read. And so when you see that sort of read a book thing, you realize that the person is not even talking to you. They don't even know who you are. And so, and that's often very true. But what's revelatory about it, what you need to understand when you're having these accusations slung at you, is that they are handing you the key to their psyche. They are handing you the ability to take them apart. Exactly. They try to adopt our terms. And what's funny is that we adopt their positive terms for themselves and turn it into a slur because what they are is lesser. All right? Think about it. Who started calling SJWs gay? Or SJ, what am I saying? Let me back up. Who started calling homosexuals gay? Was it people who didn't like homosexuals and considered it a derogatory term? No, it was homosexuals themselves. So given that they chose that term for themselves as a positive term, why is it a slur now? Because all their memes belong to us. The truth is against them. And so, when they try to take snowflake and apply it to us, it doesn't harm us at all because we're not snowflakes. And rhetoric that is not based in truth isn't effective. Rhetoric that is not based in truth does not sting. It's kind of bizarre. Somebody was trying to call me say that, you're a fat fuck and you need to exercise and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, I just played 90 minutes on the wing as the oldest player on the entire field, and I was our team's primary offense, despite the fact that I had to get back and help out on defense too. Okay? It's like, where is that coming from? I had my physical recently, and the doctor looked at the numbers and said, did you really jack up your cardio or something? I said, why? He said, well, your resting blood rate or your resting heartbeat rate is always good, but he said it's really low. It's gotten really good. I said, yeah, I'm either playing soccer or biking 12 kilometers a day, and so so to say that I need to exercise more. My doctor is literally telling me, hey, just make sure that you take it easy occasionally. You're at your age, you break down. So anyhow, and this also, just so this soccer that I play, this is not like low level easy stuff. Some of the guys that I play against have played in the UEFA Cup and the Champions League. They're not at their peak, but these guys are really freaking good. And so, I have to basically train year round just to be able to stay on the field at my age. And so again, it's projection. It's projection. But it's more than that in this particular case, because what we're seeing here is the concern and fear that they have that Alt Hero is going to be successful. Now, I don't know if Alt Hero is going to be successful. I have no idea. I hope it will be. We're going to make a good faith effort at making it successful, but we don't know. But here's where it gets interesting. Here's where you start to truly understand the mind of the SJW. Somebody said that it is going to fail, and it will result in nothing but sad humiliation for you. Now, the thing that's bizarre about that is not the idea that Alt Hero might fail. Failure is always a possibility. Whenever you hear people say stupid things like failure is not an option, just ignore it. They're being a blowhard. Failure is always a possibility. But the faster you can fail, the better it is. Failure is not something to be feared. Wasting time is to be feared. time is your most precious possession. And so, so you want, if you're going to fail, you want to fail fast. And that's one of the beautiful things about crowdfunding, about Free Starter, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, all those things, is that we can put this stuff out there. And, you know, like we're going to launch, it looks like we're going to launch Alt Hero on Friday. And so we don't know whether, you know, we've got 30 days for it to raise $25,000. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. If it doesn't, then you know what? We were wrong. There's not a market for it, or at least there's not a market that we are capable of pursuing successfully. Fine. You know, if it's not going to work, I want to know right away. I don't want to waste my time on Alt Hero. I want to spend more time on Voxversity, more time on Castalia House, more time on Alpenwolf, and none on Alt Hero if nobody wants it. You know, if you guys don't want it, simple, don't back it. If you want it, back it. Very simple, and it will work perfectly. But see, there's the voice of the SJW. Please don't waste your time in the comics community because we don't want you in it. You know what? We don't care. You guys can, you know, cheer against it all you want. I encourage you, denounce it, get angry about it, tell us that there's no place for us in it. I absolutely encourage you to do that because we don't want SJWs around either. We don't want your bullshit in comics. We don't want your bullshit in video games. We don't want your bullshit in Western civilization. Go move somewhere else. Go to Mars. Go live under the ocean. Doesn't matter. SJW kills everything. You cannot pursue the function of an organization and pursue the function of social justice. And so, you know, this is all related. This is all related. And so, but to get back to the point I was making, the really interesting thing to me was the idea that failure equals sad humiliation. You know, what sort of twisted, damaged, small amygdala psyche believes that failure is sad humiliation? That reveals a mindset that is absolutely terrified of failure. They are so terrified of failure, they can't do anything. They can't create. All they can do is pervert. They can't do new things. All they can do is invade existing organizations, pervert them, converge them, and destroy them. And so the more that people understand this, the more that they need to keep SJWs out. You know, I mean, I have failed. Here's what cracks me up, is that people attack my successes. Maybe they're minor successes. You know, Psychosonic was a minor success. You know, we did 3 CDs. People don't realize that. I was involved with the first 2. I was not involved with the third one that was not accepted by the record company and was never published. I was not involved with Spiritual Machine, but I was involved with both Unlearn and the first one. You know, and I'm very proud of what we did. Was it great? No, but it was ahead of its time and it was good. And you know, we had what, 3 Billboard Top 40 club chart hits. It's not bad. It's pretty cool at the time. We were what, 22, 23 years old? It was fun. It was great. And so Viva Voxday. That's funny. Hey, my great-grandfather rode with Pancho Villa. I'm a revolutionary on both sides. American revolutionary on the one, Mexican revolutionary on the other. No, Andrew Torba is not writing the foreword of my book. He said that he would prefer to remove it, and I have in fact removed it and replaced it with one by Ivan Throne. And so, but here's the interesting thing, is that they attack these minor successes. They attack my game design career. They don't realize that I'm still designing games. You know, I did a design recently for a major American sports league game. You know, nobody knows it because I don't advertise it. I don't put my name on things. You know, why ask for the trouble? But you know, the idea that I'm a failed game designer because you know, Rebel Moon Rising only sold 6.4 million copies, I think I can live with that. No, I don't put my names in the credits. I don't do any of that. I do I do AI work. I do systems design work, etc., etc. So I will say that I did a simulation model, and it was excellent. Nobody has. That may be one of the few ways you can figure out which game it is. If you can figure out which game doesn't have any complaints about the game simulation model, that's mine. Anyhow, the interesting thing is that they don't focus on my actual failures, my big failures, the huge opportunities that I had that I missed. I have had 4 major failures, any of which could have made me a billionaire. One of them was that close, you know, and it fell apart. That was the 3D graphics thing. We were 18 months ahead of NVIDIA, and it fell apart for various reasons, none of which were directly on me. See, that's what's funny. The mouse was a success. You know, the mouse did what we wanted. It actually delivered 105% performance improvement on regular mouse interaction. No, we stopped making them just because it was successful. We sold all of them. We basically broke even on the whole project. But there was just the design was too fragile, and it was going to cost too much in order to straighten it out. And so I was just like, you know what? It's not worth it. The other, yeah, it was a gaming mouse. You know, and what's funny is that you know, Logitech and Razer were both like, oh, we're not interested in that stuff. And then, you know, they've come out with mouses. They've come out with mice that are, you know, similar but inferior designs to what we did. None of the multi-button mice that they've come out with since are anywhere as good as the War Mouse was. But, you know, that's not a failure. I wish all my failures had turned out as well as that one did. You know, but failure is not something. Yeah, the Sound Blaster, the Sound Blaster before the Sound Blaster, that was probably my biggest personal mistake, because I had all the pieces in place. I could have done it myself, but I let everybody talk me into going back to college. I should have dropped out of college and done that. Big mistake. But the thing is that we learn from these failures. You know, we learn from failures. We learn from other people. One of the reasons that I am always proud to support Mike Cernovich is because I learn from Mike Cernovich. He is one of the people that I have learned from. He's one of the people that has made projects like Infogalactic and Castalia House and Voxversity and now Alt Hero successful. Well, okay, Alt Hero is not successful yet, but the other 3 are. So don't be afraid of failure. Failure is not sad. Failure is not humiliating. Failure is as necessary a part of life and as necessary a part of success as breathing. There is not a single successful person who has never failed. Not one. And the thing is, when you talk to really successful people, they will usually tell you, oh yeah, actually, the funny thing about really successful people is they can't stop talking about their mistakes. They can't stop. That's the stuff that interests them. Successes are not interesting. Think about it. Is Wikipedia... Yeah, I'm 49. So, anyhow, okay, Floyd... But even Floyd... No, didn't Floyd Mayweather lose in the Olympics? I thought he lost a match in the Olympics. So, but think about it. Who is the greatest... Probably the greatest athlete of all time? Most successful. Certainly the greatest competitor. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was just a ferocious competitor. And yet in his Hall of Fame induction speech, what did he talk about? He talked about losing out a position on the high school basketball team in 9th grade. That one failure drove him to become the incredibly successful, hyper competitive vanquisher that he became. Granted, in Jordan's case, it was also partly pathological, and there's probably something a little bit wrong with him. But the point is that when you've got somebody who wins 6 NBA titles and however many scoring titles and, led the dream team and all this kind of stuff, and he gets up there and talks about not making a junior high basketball team, that's the point. Failure is what makes you capable of high levels of success. Part of what drives me to be successful is the knowledge of why I failed in the past. I failed because I was too much of a pussy. I failed because I was too lazy. Psychosonic could have been much more successful than it was. Much more successful. You know what? Because we were way too lazy and way too into our other stuff. Wax Trax wanted us to go on a big tour with all these other bands, Wax Trax bands, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, Ministry, KMFDM, all that kind of stuff. And we had a good show. We could have gone there and been the most popular band, bigger than these other big bands. But we didn't want to do it. And we were too busy with our lives. That was a mistake. Big mistake. Was Psychosonic a failure? Of course not. But part of our problem, and here's the thing, part of our problem was that we had too much success too quickly. We had only written and recorded 3 songs at the time that we were offered a record contract by Wax Trax. That's how good we were. In fact, 2 of those songs, actually no, all 3 of those songs were only written by Paul and I. The other 2 members of the band hadn't even really joined yet. We do 3 songs, record contract deal, pretty soon top 40 charting, all this kind of stuff. We thought that we could reach high levels of a successful that easily. Why? Because we had zoomed past everybody else. Everybody else in the music scene in Minneapolis at the time, except for Prince. and to a lesser extent, Carmen Electra. She was in Minneapolis at the time, trying to do her recording career. Now, granted, she didn't really do much in music, but whatever. Well, the other stuff was we all had different jobs. I had a job, and what I was working on then was the 3D graphics chip, and then the game company. So I lacked focus. What I should have done is I should have picked one or the other. And so, yeah, that's exactly it. This is easy. Everyone else is an idiot. We are just that much. We're just that much better than everybody else. And we were. You look like a shit Bruce Willis, and you can't draw. I can't draw at all. Why do you think that I draw? These SJWs are so stupid. They don't even understand. I don't draw at all. I don't draw anything. It's not me. And it's not like we have one artist. This is what I was talking about. They just throw crap out there. No, I did not ever date Carmen Electra. But yes, I did meet her. So, anyhow, yeah, it's going to be a fun Periscope. We're looking... yeah, actually, I write very well. In fact, most people think that I write better than George Martin do. People who have actually read both. And so, but you can keep trying to throw stuff. So anyhow, the point is that success is great. Easy success tends to cripple you. As long as you look ruthlessly at your errors and you fix them, then, and you work at improving, you will get better. So don't let yourself get down about failures. Don't avoid failures. Don't avoid admitting your failures. Yeah, I should probably answer some of these questions about it. The comics will be available online. Well, they'll be digital and they'll be print. Castellio will be releasing omnibus paperbacks and hardcover versions. Then there are going to be rewards. We're going to sort all that stuff out. And so, in fact, that's one of the things I'm working on tomorrow is just figuring out what the rewards are and all that sort of stuff. Some people have requested the ability to, request cameos, and that sort of thing. We will see. But yeah, we're having a blast working on this stuff. The storylines are fun. I think if you're familiar with my fiction, then you probably know that whatever you expect is not what you're going to get. The storylines the stories are going to be bigger and more sweeping and more complicated than people are probably anticipating that are not familiar with the kind of books that I write and the kind of books that we publish. So anyhow, thanks very much for tuning in. I'm glad that the sound is working. Thank the Voxaversity folks. They're the ones who made this possible, because I would not have gone out and bought a microphone, for this. I didn't actually think it was going to work. So glad that it did. Mike Cernovich, Guerrilla Mindset, good book, important book. I would recommend if you're someone who struggles with mindset, make sure that you get a copy and read it. I don't publish it, so this is a reasonably unbiased recommendation from somebody who has personally benefited from it. So anyhow, have a good evening, and we will see you soon.